Hello and welcome to another edition of Drive-In Double Feature. I'm Ryan.
I'm Nathan.
And this is the podcast where we review 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. And today we're going to be talking about Zombie 90 Extreme Pestilence, directed by Schnaas. First time saying it. But it is a German zombie movie. And it has a very unique dub, wouldn't you say, Nathan?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know what to expect, but it is definitely something that hits you right off the bat. If you didn't watch it before, I'm going to go ahead and insert a little soundbite right here so you can experience it.
Hello, excuse me, Dr. Gunn. Is it true that the victims were attacked by zombies?
No comment. I can't tell you nothing.
You believe in zombies?
Step aside.
Have there been any other cases such as this zombie case reported?
Is there a maniac on the loose?
I won't say nothing. Just wait for the press conference.
Could it be an epidemic?
Gummies, man. I can't believe these guys. Jeez. Ruffle my jacket. Damn.
All right. So now you know what we're dealing with. This dub is absolutely insane. I love it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only thing I could remember I looked up, the only information that I saw was that this was, it totally intended to be a super serious zombie movie from Germany. They sent it off to the composer, which his name was Greg Parker, which I guess Greg Parker was an American composer, and he made his own English dub, like as a joke.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Yeah, and he sent it to the director as a joke, and I guess the director loved it and was like, oh, that's the official dub.
Oh, wow. What an insane story. I would have heard this, too, and be like, this is too good not to put out. I couldn't imagine doing that, just making your own dub for fun, just for one person to listen to.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not a new concept either. I mean, because, I remember, Kung Pao, which that was a later one. But yeah, like the guy went and did like the dub for an entire movie. But I think Woody Allen also did one for What's Up, Tiger Lily. I believe that was like another one where it was
really?
he took like an Asian movie and he did his own dub. But anyway, it really adds a lot of charm to this movie. Yes. It really does.
If this movie was serious, I don't know how much I would enjoy it. But the dub just adds so much to it. It is hilarious at times.
Did you know about this movie beforehand?
No, I knew nothing about it. What's funny is I know this director's other work because he has a series called Violent Shit. It's like,
really?
Yeah, 5 VHS like series, and it's called Violent Shit, and that's why I know about it, because the title is so bizarre. But I guess I had never heard of this one until you said something.
Which, okay, I didn't know about this because they did cover it on The Cinema Snob.
Oh, nice. And the return of Brad Jones.
Yes, Brad Jones never dies on this podcast. We're going to keep him living.
Oh, yeah.
And no, I remember watching that episode, and I was like, oh, I got to watch this movie. And this podcast was a perfect excuse to finally watch it. So
yeah. To force someone else to watch it, right?
Yes, exactly. The movie sucks. It's not very good in terms of quality, but I was so entertained watching this movie.
Yeah. So have you ever watched like movies like this, like shot on video horror movies?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. It's a subgenre I'm not really into, but I've watched them before, and it's hard to enjoy, right? It's not really nice to look at. And when it's serious, it's not great. So, yeah, I could see the serious German version of this actually probably being a bad movie, like not enjoyable.
Yeah, I had no experience with these like no budget horror movie type of things. But, the pacing in this movie, I mean, you'd think it would be really bad, but it actually flows pretty well. I mean,
yeah,
it's like they give you like a small section of story and then a super gory scene, and then it's like they show the main characters again, another gory scene, and then so on and so forth, and it's like that until the end of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It has like a solid pacing, and every gory scene. They're always doing something interesting for a no budget movie. the blood effects are pretty cool. You know, they got like blood and guts and they're playing with them. You know, it looks fake, but knowing that it's low budget, it goes the extra mile and it's just really cool to look at.
Yeah, and then the blood effects too were good, like you said, but the intestines, I always thought it was something. It looked like taffy.
Yeah, I think it's like Laffy Taffy or something, just like stretched out and melted.
Yeah,
and they have like some weird parts that they love showing. Every part of the anatomy, penises, boobs, all of it. There's penis ripping scenes, which is always entertaining to see.
Oh, I know. There was some stuff I was not expecting. So there's one scene, which plot-wise, I mean, it's pretty much just like these two scientists are battling these zombies. That's the plot.
That's literally it. Like, yeah, I think like a plane accidentally drops a virus somewhere, so there's zombies. The scientists attack the zombies. That's all you gotta know.
And the guy in his ridiculous voice is like, this is the same type of substance that they used to cure the AIDS virus, and it created a whole new animation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, no, and you missed the damn. He says damn so much in this dub. He's like, damn, like the whole time. Yeah,
but going back to the gory stuff, it's just like there's some stuff in there that, I mean, you know, it looked terrible, but I just wasn't expecting it. Like there's a scene where like it's these women in the shower, like together hanging out or whatever, sauna, and like one, which they make like a bunch of fat jokes about this one woman, which is so mean because she's really not even that overweight. So
they even go the extra mile of having like a dude voicing her over, and he's putting on a girly voice. It's like, jeez.
Oh, I know. And even the one girl says like, "Hey, no need to be depressed. Keep your chins up."
Too good.
Yeah,
but it's so mean.
It's very mean, but but anyway, like there's the one scene in there was like the zombies attack the women in the sauna and they strip them naked, and like one zombie like takes the girl's boob and chops off her boob.
Yeah, and there's like guts in the boob, I guess.
Yeah, like it's just all this silly string is like in her boob, and then the other girl, she's completely naked. Well, they imply naked. And then they start cutting her up from like vagina up her torso.
Yeah.
But it's clearly like a rubber latex body. It's not like a real body.
Yeah. It doesn't even look real. Like it's so silly, just like the way they cut it and how it like cuts open perfectly. Because there's a bush on this latex doll. It's like a perfect triangle, you know, no hair or anything.
Oh, I know. It's so, I know that was, It you know, it's supposed to be like this horrific scene, but it's really funny.
That's the thing. Is it's like it would be bad, but it just makes it even more entertaining. There's something about the quality of it that it's just enjoyable to watch. God, the less violent scene, but I do have to talk about the scene. I love it. This is part of like how the dub creates comedy. It's a scene with the guy and the girl in the back of the car, and they're about to have sex, and he has to get out because he has to take a shit. But, like, obviously it's the dove, and the dove's like, I gotta go take a dump right now. Nothing like being out in the woods that makes me want to go take a shit. And he brings a gun with him, and the best part is the dove's like, oh, I need to take this gun to cover up the smell of my shit. Like, oh my God. It makes no sense.
Yeah. And it's super foggy. I was like, damn, all this fog. I wonder if she farted and didn't tell me about it. Like...
It's like, who comes up with this? It's like Mystery Science Theater, but like not clever.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting lines like that, so that's why it made it so. Which is why it made it so funny.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are a lot of little lines like that in the dub too. That like it's clearly like the guy just improvising. Like there's one scene where one of the scientists gets hurt. And he's bleeding, but the other scientist is more concerned about getting blood in his car.
Yeah,
and he's like, you better not be bleeding my car, or we're gonna have some big problem. He's like, let me get you a hospital. He said, there's a hospital up ahead. It's a mental hospital, but that's all right for you.
There's a scene really close to that one too, with the zombie on the other side of the guardrail, and he just pushes him down the hill, and he's like, "Have a nice fall."
Yeah, and he says they don't roll like they used to.
So like bits like this, like let me tell you, this movie is worth seeing just for little bits like that.
Yeah, and I mean it's not a long movie, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. I mean, if it was much longer than its runtime now, I could definitely see it getting old. But
yeah, what is it, an hour 10, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if this was like even an hour and a half movie, I would think I would be pretty bored. I would think by the end, but yeah, there's so many entertaining little stuff in there. There's another one too where there's a woman. We don't know who this woman is, but she's in a wheelchair she's holding a baby, and all of a sudden, and the baby is very clearly a fake baby. It's just like a baby doll you get like at the toy store. Mm-hmm. And a zombie comes out, which these zombies use weapons, by the way, too. It's not.
They're not like your typical zombies, which is, I know, a cliche thing to say, I guess, but at this time I would think they would all be cliche.
Yeah, they don't ever explain why these zombies need or use weapons, but this zombie has an axe and it just chops this woman's head clean off. And then it takes this very clearly plastic baby and starts ripping it apart and then starts eating it.
Yes. Yeah. For some kind of shock value. I wish I could remember them right now, but the lady in the wheelchair had some really great lines as well.
She was talking about like, I don't want my little baby Leroy to live in a world like this. Like so many people out there dealing with which it's not even related to what's going on. It's just her going on. It's just her talking about her baby, and she doesn't want the baby to live in a world like this. And then the zombie kills the baby. So
what I also like that it doesn't feel like it has to explain stuff. At least the dub doesn't, because there is a scene with the scientist and his apprentice or whatever you call it. And they're working on one of the zombies, and he's like, "Oh, I know how to cure this without any analysis," and and that's it. That's all you get.
I know they both have really ridiculous voice. So I mean, they give this guy like the main character, like this very clearly like they're making him sound like a black guy. And
and he is not black. This character is white as can be.
Right. And I don't know if the composer is black, white, whatever, but the other guy too, it sounded like the biggest weenie like ever.
Yeah.
It's like, hello, Dr. Byrne, how are you doing?
Exactly like that. Yeah. He's just the biggest like scaredy cat character ever.
Which I don't know what these people sounded like in the original dub, but I could tell just by their faces. Like it was probably like the most monotone thing, because if you see like even when they're having like this big action moment, like they're not like their facial expressions don't change at all.
Yeah, no, they don't. This is probably like some grade A bad acting. I'm sure of it. But, throwing these voices on there added like a whole new depth to it. It's one of the few times where I can say that a dub really made everything better. Because usually that's not the case. Usually a dub is going to kill a movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 100%. This dub made this movie a huge improvement. Mm-hmm. One other thing I was going to say was they talk about like they go over the rules of zombies for like really quickly, where they're like, oh, you got to either separate the head from the body or you got to destroy the brain. But there's still many scenes where they don't do that at all, where they're like, they get like this big sword looking thing and they'll stab it right in the torso. And of course that doesn't kill the zombie. Mm-hmm. Or there's another one where they're chopping off the zombie arms and everything. And it's like, I thought the whole point, they're gouging their eyes out. I'm like, you're not hitting him in the head at all. Yeah,
no, I thought the same thing. I wrote that down as well. Like, they're just, like, mutilating these zombies, and there's really no reason to. Especially because that comes up not once. It comes up multiple times where he's like, you got to destroy the brain. I guess it's just, fun gore.
Yeah, there's just more reason to add more guts to it. Mm-hmm. And I think we got to talk about that one scene with it's the couple in a car, and she's very clearly giving the guy a blowjob.
Yes,
but it's they're both zombies. She's like sucking on his bloody looking penis or whatever, but it doesn't even look like a penis though. It just looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It just looks like an elongated piece of gum or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that. So no, it is not unsimulated. But
this isn't Brown Bunny.
Yeah, it's not Brown Bunny, but she is going to town on that.
So yeah, okay. So the scientist, encounters them. He kills the female, and then the guy comes out with his fake looking penis hanging out. Yeah. And he kills that guy, but not only that, he rips the zombie's dick off, and I'm like, why? why was that necessary?
Right? Yeah, I do not understand. Like, it's obviously just for the movie, but it zooms in, his penis is there, and he goes, like, just rips it right off. What an iconic scene. And this is mixed in. This scene is cut so poorly. So poorly. People are jumping around and everything. Yeah,
it is not. Which, okay, if it was like a regular real life couple or what, like they were still alive and they were doing that, and then a zombie showed up and ripped the guy's dick off, sure, yeah, I'll allow it. But when it's like a guy ripping off a zombie's dick off, that's the thing where I was like, okay, that's a little weird.
That's a little egregious. Like, you're like just out here just to torture them. Yeah, cool. No, go ahead.
One thing I did want to ask you is, so towards the end,
okay,
what was that all a dream? Like, what was that dream sequence about in the house? Okay, so the scene happens where the guy's out in the field battling the zombies, the main character, and then he passes out, and then he wakes up like in this abandoned house that has zombies.
Yeah, I don't know, because it looks like they're like in like you said, an abandoned like construction yard. I don't understand what it is. It has that scene has wacky dialogue. Like, yeah, where he's like, "Oh, Jimmy, it's you, Jimmy. I saw you in Woodstock." He's like implying that it's Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah,
he's
like Jimi Hendrix. I got all your albums.
And my dumb brain, because he just calls him Jim and Jimmy. I was thinking he was talking about Jim Morrison from The Doors, and then he was like, God, he quotes a Jimi Hendrix song.
Excuse me while I kiss.
Yeah, excuse me while I kiss this guy. Which is what people miss here. He sings that to the Jimi Hendrix zombie. And I don't think this zombie looks anything like Jimi Hendrix.
No, it's a white guy. It's not even a black guy.
It's good, but it's a good bit. But I did not understand the ending. I think I disconnected it so much because it comes out of nowhere.
It's out of nowhere, and then he finds this. Okay, so he kills the zombies in the house, and then he finds this like weird looking like mirror cube looking thing.
What was that? And he like bashes it. He like breaks it. I don't get it.
I don't know any other way to describe it. It looked like a cube that had mirror panels on it.
Yeah, mirrors on it. Yeah.
And he was, like you said, he was just going to town on it, hitting it.
Like it was going to end or something. I just now tried to look at the storyline on IMDb, and it does not go that far into explaining it.
Well, then, okay, so then he does that. He wakes up, he's back lying in the field, and then a zombie comes and just kills him. And that's how the movie ends.
Yep. Yeah, it ends. It's one of those movies. Probably they ran out of money, and they were like, "Okay, we gotta ship this. We're done."
You notice at the end it did say to be continued.
It did, yes. Does this have a sequel? Like, does it actually have a sequel?
Well, it's called Zombie 90, but this movie came out in 1991 for one, so I don't know, but I know like the guy the main character, he's only been in like one other thing, which he was in Violent Shit 3. Just nice, so you know.
The best of the franchise. Am I right?
I'll take your word for it.
I've never seen the Violent Shit movies. I just know of them. Maybe one day. Yeah.
I guess a good question would be this week is What are some of your favorite zombie movies?
Ooh, good question. Well, definitely Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is just a classic. That movie I watched as a young kid, and it's such a cool idea, right? Hanging out in the mall as zombies attack, you have the mall all to yourself. Really good stuff. I love it. 28 Days Later is another classic. I actually think its sequel is really good as well. That's another one that's shot really weirdly. Where this one's video, that one was one of the first movies to be shot fully on digital with a theatrical release. Hasn't aged well, but I do think that's interesting. What about you? What are some of your favorites?
Well, let me ask you this: what's your opinion on the Dawn of the Dead remake?
I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I haven't seen it in a while, but when I watched it, I thought it was pretty good.
It's good, but you're right; the original is better. But
yes.
the whole Dead trilogy is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Day of the Dead a lot too.
I've actually never watched Day of the Dead. That'd be great to do on the show.
We may have to do that pretty soon. But another one is, even though it is a full-blown comedy, I really do like Shaun of the Dead a lot.
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead's a fun movie. It's a funny movie. And that's a good example of comedy horror because the violence in that movie is very brutal.
And just one that I do like is Zombieland also. I mean, the first one. I haven't seen the second one, but it's not the best zombie movie, but it's fun. It's fun.
I saw Zombieland 3 times in the theater for whatever reason, but I liked it a lot back in the day. And I like the second one too. I'd recommend seeing the second one. It's funny.
It's just because you're a big Jesse Eisenberg fan. I know.
Hey, I love Eisenberg. Don't get me wrong. His Lex Luthor is the best Lex Luthor. Beautiful. I know we've talked a lot about zombie movies. Have you ever seen Fido? Fido is a great one. That's Billy Connolly playing a zombie, and it's in the future where zombies are pets, and it's set in not in the future. It's set in the 50s, but it's like a weird retro future deal. Great movie. We might have to do that one.
No, and I remember seeing that movie cover when I used to work in Blockbuster, and I remember because the movie cover being it's like a zombie staring right at you.
Yeah, a zombie on a leash, right? Yeah. Another good recent one, Dead Don't Die. Did you see Dead Don't Die?
I did not.
Jim Jarmusch. Interesting little zombie movie. Yeah.
Well, we'll definitely be covering more zombie movies. I guarantee it.
Oh, for sure. That is that definitely is all over the kind of stuff we cover.
But as far as recommendations go, I would give this a slight recommendation, kind of.
I would too, because it's on YouTube. You don't really have to go far out of your way. It's only an hour, 10 minutes. If you're listening to the show, I probably would guess that you're into weirdo movies, and give it a shot. Why not?
Well, I would definitely recommend it. I mean, especially if you love bad movies. I mean, this is right up there. I mean, watch this movie with some friends, have a drink or whatever while you're doing it. It's a good time. Trust me. What are we going to be talking about next time, Nathan?
Oh, yeah. So what we're going to be talking about next time is one of my all-time favorites, 1984's Body Double, directed by Brian De Palma. Unfortunately, this one is not streaming anywhere. So if you do want to watch it before the show, you'll have to pay for it.
We gave you enough freebies. You're trying to pay up.
That's true, yeah. Trust me, this one's worth it. If you throw down money for it, it's worth it.
And, hey, if you like this podcast or if there's any recommendations, please email us at drivingdoublefeaturepodcast@gmail.com.
Perfect. All right. Well, can't wait to see you next time.
See you later.